Hey there, BJD Addicts. I am here to do BJD Addicts Prompt number 32, which is, how do you buy dolls? There's a kind of somewhat process that I follow when I'm looking for dolls, and it's not too hard. I think everyone kind of has their own way of doing it, but typically this is what I do. I will think of a character, or I'll get inspired by something and I'll be like, wow, I really wish I had a doll that looked like the character I want. Then after I get the idea of the character that I want to do, I will do the magical, most frustrating, tiresome process ever, which is looking through sculpts. And just FYI for peeps out there that are looking at multiple companies, you can go to BJD Collectasy.com and they have a full link, like thingy with links of BJD companies that are currently out there. It's a really good website for resources and all that fun stuff. What am I doing? I'm like doing this. I'm gonna sit you down because I don't know what I'm doing with you. I'm just like doing stuff. I will start looking through sculpts. I'll see different companies, and if it's a boy, you know, I'll try to see like the bodies as well, because there's so many different types of body types out there. I'll kind of also try to do my research on the company themselves and see what other people think about those dolls. And I'm not afraid to ask people questions. Back in the day, when I first entered the hobby, I really wanted a boy to fit my character Kai, and I was kind of like shy about getting into the hobby, and I didn't know, I guess, a lot about, you know, the resources that were out there. And so I actually sent a like PM to Curious, and it was funny because I feel so funny now because I'm like, why didn't I just Google it more? But I sent her a PM and I was like, what do you think about the Resin Soul Gang bodies? And it was just like so random. And she actually did reply back, and I can't honestly remember what she said. I don't think she said she knew a lot about them because I don't think she had any at the time. I should dig up that message and see. But yeah, she was nice enough to respond, so that is something you can definitely do. Do not be scared to ask questions. At the same time though, nowadays, from then when I first jumped into the hobby, there wasn't, I mean, DOA was there, and I mean there was a couple other forums, but I don't think it was as massive as it is now. And there wasn't a lot of like YouTube videos and things like that for the dolls. So now I would say before asking random people questions about the dolls and stuff, Google it. There's a lot of stuff that you can Google out on the interwebs. There's a lot of forums besides DOA that you can look at to compare like sculpts and look at pictures of the dolls and like what people have done with those sculpts. Because that is another thing too. I like to see what people do with the sculpt, because somebody could buy like a particular doll or a particular sculpt and they can make it completely different than somebody else's version of that doll. So I think it's really cool to take a look at all those different things just to see like potential that could be there. That's definitely a big step into buying a doll, is to do the research on it and look around. It's a very frustrating process looking through all the different sculpts and trying to do the research for it, but I can guarantee you it's definitely a good thing to do because you don't want to have to rush into stuff. And I know people have, like, you know, when you're first coming into the hobby, they're kind of like hesitant about spending like $200 or $300 on a doll. My best advice is always to go with your gut feeling, what you like the most. Don't try to compensate or try to be like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna like this hobby, you know, I'm just gonna because you could do that, but then you could fall into the terrible trap of, well, you bought it because it was less expensive, but then when it comes in, you're just like, ooh, and then that'll lead you off to a different path, and now you have a doll that you really don't like. So honestly, just go with your gut feeling and just go for the one that you like the most, whether it's going to be something that's very inexpensive or something that might cost a little bit more. So yeah, take that jump somehow, mainly if you're trying to get into the hobby. Just take it somewhere. Let's say that I did step 1 already, which I was thinking about my character. Step 2, which I did all my research, I was looking at the different sculpts and all the different molds, and yay, I found one that I really liked. Step 3 is going to be how you're gonna come around, like, to buying it? Are you buying it directly from the company? Are you finding a distributor? Are you buying it secondhand? Are you buying it off a marketplace somewhere? Looking through those options is going to be your third thing to do. I actually really like going through distributors. I've bought dolls from Mints on Card, Junkie Spot, of course. I don't think I bought any dolls off of Denver Doll, but I did buy some clothing off of Denver Doll. But yeah, I really do like going through the distributors. I'll be honest with you, I haven't purchased any dolls straight from the companies before, but that's another thing you'd probably have to do research on too. Like if you're buying straight from a company, you know, who has, you know, good, you know, customer service, what's a trustworthy company, knowing how long it's going to take and kind of just letting that sink in, how long it's going to take for you to get the doll. Because that is the kind of, you know, double-edged sword part of this hobby, is that if you, when you're ordering dolls or just anything in general, sometimes it's going to take a bit of time. And it's because they're coming from way on the other side of the world, and a lot of the stuff is handmade. Number 4, the fourth thing I do after I've researched the sculpt, I thought of the company that I want to go through, finances is the fourth part. I want to know, now that I've figured out what I'm buying, how and who I'm going to get it through, I need to do finances for it, which is kind of like the really other sucky part about it. Because depending on what you're getting, it could cost you a pretty penny. Not to mention, like, shipping could also be a big thing, and that's not something you really look at until after you put in your stuff. Then you do like the estimate shipping button or whatever, and then bam, that's an additional like $40 to $60 sometimes that's being added to your grand total of things. Now, some companies do layaway, which is cool because then you can do it in increment payments. And then there's others that don't, so you have to pay it in full. Either road that you go through, depending on who you're buying it from or who you're buying with, is going to be something you'll definitely have to consider when you're buying it all. And then number 5 is the waiting. Everyone hates the waiting game. They hate it with a passion. Nobody likes waiting for dolls, but it is the thing that we all have to go through. So just prep yourself and know that you may be waiting anywhere from 4 to, oh god, I don't know, like 4 weeks to maybe 3 to 4 months. I've heard of some people waiting for longer, which is crazy. So just hang in there with that stuff too. I know it kind of sounds like all the negatives and like really bad stuff that you have to think about, but it is like the harsh reality of it. Step number 6 is the moment of happiness when your doll arrives, and just, you know, be like just mentally prepared to be just awed and just totally in love with what you've ordered and spent all this time slaving away at. So it's definitely worth all the hassle and all those other steps that you have to go through when purchasing a doll and getting ready to buy a doll. And those are my simple steps on how to buy a doll. Like I said, many other people may follow other steps, and people have their way of buying dolls and jumping into the hobby. This is just kind of like the path that I follow, and hopefully it was helpful in some shape, way, or form. I hope to see everyone else's prompts. I actually haven't done a search for this prompt to see other people's responses, but I'm gonna try to get back into doing that. I was really good at it, like looking at other people's BJD videos, but then I just have been so busy. But I will get back to doing that so I can comment on other people's videos and watch the awesomeness that you guys are out there. As always, I hope you have an awesome day. Stay fabulous, love your dolls, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Bye! I'm ready to do this. Oh god, you're not ready. You're falling. You're falling. So, actually, I need to stop saying so. Every time I say so, I need to, like, slap myself. Like, I hate having to edit that out, because I say so as, like, a filler word so many times. I'd be like, so. Like, count it. If you watch my videos, count how many times I say so. Because I know a lot of people, you know, oh my gosh, like I'm regurgitating like what I ate for lunch. See, this is what happens. I get off track and then I just like start going in random places in my head. I'm trying my hardest not to say it. And I'm like making myself like, I was gonna say it again, stop it! I was putting out the steps in my head, and I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, dang. It's like self-inflicted harm we do to ourselves in this hobby. It's like so much money, and then like, well, you're happy at the end, so I guess that's okay. So yeah, just follow those simple steps. I said so! Did you hear that? So yeah, I said so again. Stop it! Yes. I don't want to say, I was gonna say it again. I was gonna say so.